And that is right, and my set just fell down. I have to fix it in a minute. But I am the excellent one. I am Ricky Goldman. This right here is the Raining Rock podcast. So go ahead, like and subscribe. Will fix my set in a second. It just has fallen down. Give me a minute to do that. But sit back, relax, grab your coffee, grab your drink, grab your beer, grab your lager, grab your cider on this hot sunny day, grab your wine, grab whatever you're drinking. Sit back, relax, enjoy the Raining Rock podcast, like and subscribe, because here he is, my tag team partner, returning from last week. He is the man. He is the money man. He is the other half of this great tag team right here.
High game for the blame. Don't you know it's all about the cash and dream? About the global provinces to stack them things. Make big pumps, change rocks and rings. Bang!
That is right. It is excellent money. That can mean one thing and one thing only. As you guys get those comments rolling in, that means only one thing. It is the money man himself. Of course, it is none other than, here he is, Marcus. See his name and he appears. Here he is.
Ching ching, bling bling is always Ted over here. Said his name and he appeared.
That is right. And I'm just as I fix my set. I'm liking you. I'm liking the t-shirt. I'm liking the shirt. I'm liking that.
I had to get it because after Mania, they had sold out of them. So I had to wait until they restocked them. So I bought as soon as they restocked it, and I learned that from Joe Hendry on Instagram. As soon as they restocked it, I bought it.
Hopefully that's fixed now. But yes, yeah, great shirt. Yeah, Jordan is killing it right now, isn't he?
Oh, I said this months ago. I think probably on this program that he's going to be the hottest wrestling personality in the next years, and he's proven that.
Yeah, getting a match in the Rumble, getting to face Orton at Mania, defending the TNA title at Battleground next week. Obviously, we'll do those predictions next week because the full Battleground Battleground card and Double or Nothing card aren't done yet, but we'll do those next week. So three wrestling shows in one weekend. Saturday night's main event on, of course, a Saturday. It's Saturday night's main event and Double or Nothing, I think, and then it's Battleground on the Sunday. So I'll try and watch all of it. I'll watch Saturday night's main event and then whatever's left of Double or Nothing, I suppose. But I don't know. The card doesn't look too great for Double or Nothing. It is what it is. But how are you since last week? Obviously, you weren't on last week, so how are you from last week? Not last week, 2 weeks ago. Sorry, 2 weeks ago.
I'm doing great, man. Just, chilling. Just chilling.
Good.
And, we're getting closer to the end of the school year, so I'm stoked for that.
Good, good. So we'll kick off with the first segment, and the man is here to call it. So let's kick off with. Let me find that video somewhere here, and it is this right here.
What's cooking at the table?
That is right, and you missed last week, so I'll kick off with you first. What have you been up to for the last couple of weeks? What have you got coming up?
Man, I've been doing a lot of stuff. So last week, my friend graduated from my alma mater, Cheney University. It was a beautiful ceremony. I was up there for quite a while. Then pretty much I had an hour after that to relax. And then after that, I went back out to a gala, very nicely dressed. It was a great time. Yesterday, once again, another busy Saturday. Did another event in which we talked to high school kids and other people. Went to my friend's house, played some games, won some, lost some, happens. Been just playing the video game as of late, and chilling out, barely watching some wrestling, but not a lot.
What video games do you play? Sports games?
Sports, fighting games, racing games, shooting games.
GTA?
Nah, I haven't put my hands on GTA in like years.
Fair enough. It's a new one coming out, isn't there? So
Next year.
What number is that? Is that number
6.
10 or something? They made a lot, haven't they?
6. Number 6.
Officially number 6, but I'm sure I've got like 6 of them already. But like,
Yeah,
that's
well,
enough
so
games.
some of those are like sub series, right? Or they're spin-offs. So
I used to play them just to take a car and didn't really do the mission, just go around getting in people's cars and running people over.
that's a part of the chaos of Grand Theft Auto.
And of course, your YouTube channel. I don't know if you've added any more videos lately. I don't know if you've been majorly busy, but have you added any new videos?
I have not. I think this week is the week for content. So since I don't watch Monday Night Raw, that might be the day I might put out content tomorrow. After I get home from probably some skateboarding if it's beautiful out like it is today. So we'll see. But I haven't put out no content as of recent. But we'll see what happens with that.
And you're missing nothing with Raw, but of course we'll get into that later here. And it's nice weather here as well. Do you find it harder to work out in hot weather, or?
So when the weather gets warm, I prefer not to work out. Not because of anything else. I mean, I do it most because so the wintertime or when it's cold outside, that's the time of the year I can't skateboard. So I'd rather be outside skateboarding when the weather's better versus going indoors to a gym.
It is hard working out in this weather. Get a lot more sweaty. It's like, ugh.
Well, that's the thing. I prefer to be sweaty. That's the thing. So during the summertime, I skateboard and I ride my bike, which is very much more sweaty than going to the gym. I freeze my gym membership in the summertime because I'm doing much more body weight workouts. I'm doing more calisthenics. I'm riding my bike more because the weather's beautiful. So I don't need to, get on a train or get on a bus as often. I'm using my legs to pedal my way from wherever I'm at to where I want to go. That's calisthenics. That's cardio versus when it's colder, I'm working on sculpting my body. So, I'm doing more weight training, but this year I'm going to do more body weight calisthenic stuff, as well as the cardio, as well as skateboarding to, be active.
And I've seen you've got some weights at home, so yeah, you probably don't really need the gym. You've got, let's say, your skateboard, your bike, your weights at home.
I mean, I need more weights. I don't like that one. Only goes up to 25 pounds, which is cool. It's great, but for good maintenance. But I would like something heavier. The goal one day is to have enough equipment at home that I don't need the gym. That's the goal.
Yeah. Which was, yeah, you're going to save a lot of money that way because, well, the gym I go to is quite cheap and it's 24 hours. I don't know if yours is yours 24 hours.
Yeah, it's 24 hours. Just why spend that money when you can just get the equipment yourself?
And I prefer a 24-hour gym. You can go whenever. People aren't, well. Even with I found even with 24-hour gym, people are hogging machines, but it's less hogged if it's all day, if that makes sense, rather than just.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, listen, I don't let people stop me from my workout. I end up doing something different. If I can't do the thing I'm wanting to do, I can switch it up. And still utilize the same body part. So it don't even matter to me.
Yeah, true. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Going to the gym, going to the crafting I go to. Joined a walking group, so I've been doing that, and it's now taking advantage of this nice hot weather. Went to a circus, not AEW. No, went to a circus on Friday. That was good fun. It's circus season here in England. Did try and get WWE tickets. It was too expensive for me this time. Hopefully, if I can afford to get one next month and there's still some available, I'll get one. But right now, about £130 is the cheapest. I don't know what that is in dollars, but £130 for a house show. Like,
that might be $134 or $35 in USD
for a house show. And see see how it's annoying that that's how much the tickets are, but they're gonna sell out just like the SummerSlam tickets for 15,000 have almost sold out. And okay, you're getting a lot more. You're getting Raw, SmackDown. I think you get to watch it with Kevin Nash, or it might be a picture with Kevin Nash. I don't know what it is. You get to meet Kevin Nash. You get quite a lot for 15,000, but that's still 15,000. Oh, it's more. Actually, 20, isn't it? For SummerSlam, it's 20. I'm thinking Mania. It's more for SummerSlam. It's 20,000 for SummerSlam. And most of them have already sold out.
People live and breathe wrestling.
So do I. I live and breathe wrestling, but 20,000?
People will save up money to get this once in a lifetime experience. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People, if you love something that much, you're willing to save the money for it. That's just how it works, man.
And that's not just 20,000 one night. That's 2 nights of 40,000.
Some people might be going to both nights. Some people might only go to one. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to the person.
And as I've said before, who's a person that said, you know what SummerSlam needs? Oh, that needs to be 2 nights. That's what it needs. No one ever. So they've got to make it a good card. And
well, if they're treating SummerSlam like the summer version of WrestleMania, then yeah, that makes sense.
And what's rumored to be planned, me personally, 40,000, they can, hell no. Goldberg, what's rumored? Goldberg, Gunther. Okay. Cena, and this is rumored, how true this is, Cena and Travis Scott versus Cody and Bad Bunny, and Rollins versus Jay. They can keep that 20. They can keep my. I'm keeping my 40,000 for that. And apparently, The Rock is back. The Rock's going to need to be back for SummerSlam to sell the tickets. But then why? Actually, no, he doesn't need to be back. Like I just said, they're selling. They've already sold them. Whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, coming up. I've got kind of more of the same, more gym, more crafts, more walking group. And then of course next weekend, 3 videos coming at you guys. Obviously, podcast, Saturday Night's Main Event watch along, Battleground watch along. Busy weekend. Anyway, let's move on to segment number 2 here. Let's tag in those segments and get to number 2 right now. Of course, all about the movies, movie talk. 2 movies I've seen. First of all, Thunderbolts. A lot of people are raving about it. I thought it was just okay. A lot of people are saying great superhero, anti superhero movie, but And the other movie, more my taste, Queen of the Ring, all about Mildred Burke, old school wrestling. Jim Cornette's in it, Naomi's in it, Tony Storm, Camille's in it. So actually some wrestlers in it, so that was cool. And yeah, very interested to learn what wrestling was like that back in the day. Women's wrestling was illegal. Well, certainly women one-on-one, women could face men, but women couldn't face each other. So yeah, very interesting to learn that. Very similar to Iron Claw. If you guys have seen, I don't know if you've seen Iron Claw, Marcus. That's about the Von Erich family. So kind of similar to that, very old school feel. Yeah. I've still got eyes on the new, what's it called? Final Destination. May watch that tonight, we'll see. But yeah, what have you been watching in it? I know you watch movies, but what else have you been watching other than wrestling, I suppose?
So, of course, I've been watching my Phillies baseball. But 2 things I watched this week. So I finally got to get to Dark Side of the Ring about Hell in a Cell. Whoo, man, Mick Foley, he's someone to be treasured. I don't say that much about any other wrestler other than probably R-Truth, but Mick Foley is someone to be treasured. Just learn about all the stuff that Taylor did not want to do. Some of the spots was crazy. And Mick was like, yeah, I want to do it. And Vince told Mick, like, we have this image of Vince that he's a very sketchy individual. Don't get it wrong. But to Mick Foley, he actually had humanity for Mick, right? Being like, yo, listen, I love what you do. I thank you for what you do for my company, but don't never do no shit like that ever again in your life. I will fire you. Don't do it. And yet he still had moments where he would still do kind of risky stuff, just not to the point that he almost died, like he did at Hell in a Cell. So that was a very cool doc to watch. And I also watched the APA documentary. Yeah.
Have they got a new one? I've seen that on YouTube. I thought that was an old one. Is it a new one? Okay.
Yeah, it's new. And it was incredibly cool because it started off with their career separately. I love when WWE always highlights the fact that Ron Simmons is the first Black World Heavyweight Champion for a major promotion. I love the fact that, once again, for those wrestling historians, kind of somewhat like myself, what we know about WCW is that Bill Watts sucked for WCW. The one thing Bill Watts did right in WCW was give Ron Simmons the World Heavyweight Championship, especially at a time period in WCW, by the way, which has been known to be very racist. Giving a Black man a championship, knowing the territories knowing the states that they run around, even though it was back in the 80s, the 80s was still very racist in the South, even to a football star like Ron Simmons, who was huge in Florida, but once again, he was just another Black guy wrestling, as they called it in WCW.
Was Pedro Morales not the first one? No, I don't know.
Pedro Morales is Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not the same as being Black or African American. He had dark skin, but he was an African American.
He's way before my time, so I obviously just know the name and know he was champion for like.
Yeah, but the last name gives it away. His last name is Morales.
Okay, right then. Yeah. I just know the name. I know he's in the Hall of Fame, and I know he held the championship for like 3 years or something. So
yeah. But Ron Simmons beating Vader of all people at that, because at that time Vader was also like very unstoppable. And you learn some more things about the APA that they admit to working stiff. And they ain't mind it. And as long as they had teams that didn't mind working stiff with them, like the Dudley boys, they enjoyed their time messing around with the Dudleys. How the APA, how even the APA came about. They all they had a little bender. It was Bradshaw's birthday. They got super drunk. Went back to the hotel. They saw Shane and Vince during that night. Vince called Bradshaw into the office earlier that day. Ron was like, "Yo, we getting fired. You two got connects in Japan." To Bradshaw. Bradshaw was like, "I hope so." And Vince told them like, "Hey, whatever. Like, hey, we could put that on TV. Y'all fucking around and drinking and stuff." And that's how the APA kind of got started. It was cool. And the documentary showed pretty much in a way, it showed that no matter what your differences are, you can, them two guys love each other very much. You know what I mean? One feels like Bradshaw credits his career and the way it went to Ron. And Ron credits JBL for giving his career a good little push after the glory years of him being the World Heavyweight Champion in WCW. So it was very touching. It was very cool. It was very funny to watch that.
I saw it just like a documentary. I thought it was an old thing, so I just skimmed past it. But I will certainly give it a watch because I didn't know it was new. I just saw it advertised, like clip on YouTube, new documentary. Well, I didn't read the word new. I read APA documentary. I thought, I've seen it. It's years old, but clearly not. I had the great. It was expensive to meet them, but a great honor to meet them back in February as a tag team. Yeah, but yeah, JBL was in the WWE champion for 300 days or something, and then Cena beat him, obviously. Something I haven't watched, I still want to watch. I don't know if you've seen it. The documentary for WrestleMania 9. I can't find that anywhere.
I have not seen that. Yeah, I ain't see that one.
And speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, I've seen them all up to now, but Superstar Billy Graham, that was a good one. Again, a name I've heard of, but knew very little about. Well, the best one yet, Billy Jack Haynes, crazy. He thinks he's Vince Senior's son, so Vince's dad's son, so to make him Vince's brother. He shot his. I think it was like 18. He shot his wife. Just crazy. No, the Sheik. Actually, the Sheik is crazy because he actually lived the gimmick in real life. Like his children, his grandsons had to call him Sheik. If you were phoning his house, you had to call him the Sheik. He lived the gimmick. So I don't know if he was crazier, more interesting than the Sheik, or again, two names I've only vaguely heard of over the years and didn't really know anything about. So both a good watch. And then obviously we've got Daphne coming up and Muhammad Hassan, and I think that might be it for Dark Side of the Ring this season. Which I'm not going to be crying when it's over because it's just I'm enjoying it, but it just adds more to watch. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Evolve, Speed, LFG. Thank God is over next week. Stuff's Places, Dark Side of the Ring. I'm enjoying it, but it's a lot to watch at the same time. And then you've got coming this Unreal thing in whenever that's starting. I'll be watching that and just 3,000 pay-per-views a week. Not a week, but 3 next week. So as much as I'm enjoying Dark Side of the Ring, I certainly won't be sad when it's over. If that makes sense. But yeah, definitely watch. I would say definitely watch Billy Jack Haynes and The Sheik. Yeah, definitely. Of course, unfortunately, a man that we'll get to this later, but someone that passed away. He's all over it, of course, because that's his uncle, isn't it? So yeah. But we'll move on to segment 3 here. I have been to a wrestling show, so I'll just quickly go over that right here, right about now. So yes, Wrestling Days Out with Ricky Goldman. Did go to the show last Sunday. I always go VIP to this company that I'll go to, and got a poster. So I'll show that poster off right now. Got a poster. That's cool. My next one is we'll get to my next one in a second. But yeah, great company. Like I said, VIP, got a poster, got a front row, got a raffle ticket, ringside photo. Great company to go to. Title change, that's always cool. And my next one is actually tomorrow night. So rare Monday wrestling. Now it's usually weekends I go to watch wrestling. But yeah, I've got actually a Monday edition of wrestling tomorrow night. But let's get into, in a second, we'll get into wrestling talk in a second, but it is that time. Ad number 1 comes your way right now. That is right. Pro Wrestling Tees, Goldman's one. If you can't purchase a t-shirt, get it shared if you can. Like I said last week, not only a shout out at the beginning and end of each live, and next week coming your way 3 lives, podcast, Saturday night's main event, watch along, battleground, watch along. And also you'll let me into the People's Wrestling Hall of Fame, where I'll just do a 5-minute, 10-minute video, really putting your channel over. So it's kind of a bonus shout out. So yes, all you got to do is purchase a t-shirt, let me know. Weather's getting hot, so head over, Pro Wrestling Tees, Goldman's 1. But so let's get down to the People's Ring. We've got AEW, Backlash, and everything else in between to cover, because it is time for... That is right, Wrestling Roundup. We'll start quickly with AEW. I know, Marcus, you watched it this week. As always, I didn't. The pay-per-views are enough for me when it comes to AEW. But Hangman Adam Page and Will Ospreay knocked off Takeshita and Josh Alexander. Yeah, Josh Alexander. Yes. Okay. Page and Ospreay are facing each other at Double or Nothing. Whatever. They got along and they defeated, Josh and Takeshita. Okay. See, I can only base this off results. This just sounds not odd to me, but it just sounds like, what? Ricochet defeated the returning Zach Gowen. So last week you had Rhino. This week you had Zach Gowen. Right, okay, that does nothing for Ricochet. But your thoughts on those 2 matches, if you want to give any thoughts?
Sadly, I didn't watch either one of those. I didn't get to that yet. I mean, Ricochet versus Zach Gowen. All right, no offense to Zach Gowen. I mean, absolute bravery from him all the time. You know, I always give him credit for wrestling with one leg. You know, it has to be tough. But come on, not really. And nothing really much about the tag match either.
See, what They brought in Rhino last week and Zach Gowen this week. I presume this is to pop a rating. Big Ricochet beating someone that hasn't wrestled for, well, I think he wrestles on the indie scene, Zach Gowen, but on TV for how many years? 20? Back in Russo's Aggression era, and he faced Brock Lesnar, and me was a fan of Mr. A. He was got brought in as a fan of Mr. America. So you're talking 20 years at least, probably more, 22 years, something like that.
Something like that.
Again, this goes back to what I say every single week about AEW. They're an indie company on TV and they do everything that's very, very indie. Your favourite tag team, the Hurt Syndicate that likes to hurt people, defeated Top Flight. No shocker there. Mina Shiwaka went over Sky Blue AZM. And Tony Storm to earn a title shot at Double or Nothing next weekend. And Jon Moxley retaining a steel cage match against Samoa Joe. You're now getting Anarchy in the Arena. Of course, what Double or Nothing is known for. Slightly above a jobber. So your thoughts about those three matches, and of course the MJF segment, if you want to give your thoughts about that also.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about that. I mean, the tag match, you know, they hurt people. They beat them. That's it. So the segment with MJF getting approved, that first of all is hilarious. Because MJF was hiding in the back. As soon as the match was over, MVP was like, all right, let's get that into business. Hey, Shelton, go get MJF. MJF was in Gorilla, hiding. Tony Khan ratted him out. He said, he's right here. He's right here. You know, and MJF was like, hey, Shelton! Shelton was like, yeah, come with me. Come on. So they went down to the ring. You know, they started the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. So MVP, thumbs up. The gold standard, thumbs up. Bobby Lashley, you know, playing the crowd. He started off in the middle. He went up, then he went down, he went up, he went down. He finally gave him the thumbs up. MJF is now going to become a member of the Hurt Syndicate, which is pretty cool. Kind of, you know, it kind of almost gives me Owen Hart joining the Nation of Domination kind of vibes. You know what I mean? One of these things are not like the other, and it's MJF. You know, and the segment kind of went a little bit further in the night. You know, got to make sure he looks over the Hurt Syndicate contract, etc. Blah blah blah. But that was a cool moment just to see that. They do have a new T-shirt out that I'm hoping to get. It's a thumbs down, so I'm hoping to get that from the Hurt Syndicate, or just their other shirt that says Hurt Syndicate, or the one that says We Hurt People. That'd be cool. That was cool. The women's match was actually pretty dope. To see Mina get the dub and actually end up facing Toni Storm. For those that don't know, Mina kind of played like a small part when Mariah May was alongside Toni Storm at a point in time.
Oh yeah, that's a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So to see her, and now mind you, that was her first like a match as a like signed official AEW star. So that was pretty cool.
She faced her. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm sure she faced her at Dynasty. I don't know. I don't know who Toni Storm faced at Dynasty. Oh no, did she face Mercedes? I think. I don't know. Again, I can't tell you the card for anything AEW, but
I don't know. I do know that Mina's also the NJP, the New Japan strong champion. She beat Mercedes Moné in Japan. So Mercedes Moné attacked Mina after the match was over. But then
it might be else that she faced at Dynasty then. Some random name was like, who's that? Yeah, it might not be me.
And then one of my favorite women's wrestlers, Jamie Hayter, came on and attacked Mercedes Moné. So that was kind of funny. I kind of somewhat saw the cage match, but I mostly missed it. You know, so that result was that result. But of course, anytime the Hurt Syndicate is on TV, and that's really what I would really watch for. I ain't really watch for nothing else. But time is so I'm getting to the point where I'm only really watching AEW for the Hurt Syndicate and for Tony Storm, but also before any of those other things happened, they had Taz talk about Sabu, and one of the things that you got to point that finger up a little bit more,
like that. I can't do it because I'm looking like that. There we go.
One of the cool things about Sabu, like that Taz put out there, he was like, listen, Sabu was Aura before Aura was cool. And when you learn more and hear more about what Sabu did, not just for the industry, but for fans and stuff, you come to learn that, yeah, the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal thing was just a gimmick and not a real life rendering of the man himself. Terry Sabu Bunker. I think that's his last name. So a wrestler that's going to be missed, but someone that we can always see and watch memories of for sure.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll talk a little bit more about that in news and headlines, but yeah, obviously, like I've got a few memories of Sabu. I'll get to it. And yeah, you've got Anakin Arena at Double or Nothing, so it was Moxley's crew against Samoa Joe and somebody else. See, I don't watch AEW to know, so Samoa Joe and somebody else. Who that someone else is, I don't know. Oh, it'll be the Ops one, the Shiobata Hook, I think, and someone else. But let's go into a Backlash. So he kicked off with Fatal 4-Way Action, LA Knight, Jake Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. Good match to kick things off. The suplex by Priest from the Raw case onto Drew through the tables. Actually injured him. Well, I don't think he intentionally injured Drew, but Drew's head bounced, actually connecting with the concrete floor. Good opener, good match. And then we got this MARKCUS skateboard. We've got our own Tony Hawk's on it. Did he call Tony Hawk? Tony Hawk's, I think. Is that the skateboard player? I played his game back in the day when his game came out. But yeah, good match. Of course, the story was the debut of Jeff Cobb. For those that don't know who Jeff Cobb is, he did a little bit in AEW, but obviously more known for Ring of Honor and New Japan. He said, I was shocked because he said he was retired. Clear swerve that was. Cool to see Jeff Cobb in WWE. We'll get on to what his new name is when we go over SmackDown. Yeah, cool. I wasn't shocked that Jacob Fatu lost. Yeah, your thoughts on the match and the debut of Jeff Cobb?
I didn't see the match, and I don't know who the hell Jeff Cobb is.
Fair enough. Okay, so you didn't see the super suplex from the Raw case to the table. Okay, then. Match, I think, the second match was Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Very clunky, I felt, to start with. I thought, well, these have had a match in NXT, but it seemed to have no chemistry. It's just like, the crowd was fairly dead. It was okay. It was an okay match to begin with. It got better as the match went on, but and I think I picked Becky Lynch in the prediction. I think we both picked Becky Lynch. We both got it wrong. Roll up from Lyra, 1, 2, 3. You're still your women's Intercontinental champion, Lyra. I probably would have had Becky win. Like I said, it would have given much needed prestige to the women's IC title. Then okay, we'll get on to what Becky did on Raw after Backlash, but I would have had Becky win. But there it is. Did you have a chance to watch this match?
Nah, I was out all last Saturday.
Okay, but your thoughts on Becky through Lyra retaining?
I get why they did that. You know, try to give the younger star some push, but I think that's the bad call for as far as the prestige for the championship. You know, Lyra being the first women's IC champion, and then her beating Becky Lynch. I don't know, but I'm also not too sold on Lyra. I still don't understand her.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Really, just and I don't get it. She's absolutely horrible in the ring. She's okay in the ring. Theme music is okay. I've heard worse. Her entrance is meant to get the crowd involved. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Something is missing. I don't know what that something is. Beating Becky's a big win.
Yeah, it's a huge win. Huge win, but there's something missing from her.
She's actually okay on the microphone, on the stick. Becky's good, but last week's Raw, Lyra kind of went toe-to-toe with Becky on the microphone. So, yes, something is missing. I don't know what that something is. But let's move on to match number 3, which was Penta taking the loss against Dominic Mysterio. Dominic's still your Intercontinental champion. No shocker here. El Grande. Okay, get this. El Grande. Kayfabe going well out the window because they're not even pretending that Chad Gable and El Grande are two different people, because El Grande Americano cost Penta the match. And who does Penta face on Raw? Chad Gable. So this is meant to be suspension of disbelief. I'm Penta. El Grande Americano does cost me an Intercontinental title. I want a match against El Grande Americano. Why do I want a match against somebody else? And this is what makes the casual fan, if there's any left, just turn off. It's like, what's going on? They're not even making it that Chad Gable and El Grande are different people. It's super obvious. Michael Cole now says they're hammering it home that it is clearly. We knew it was him to begin with, but this isn't Chad Gable. This is what's he called? Michael Cole. This is they are the same person. They are the same person. You've got Pat McAfee saying no, they're not. See, I thought the payoff was going to be Gable wins El Grande wins a big match, takes off the mask. Well, it's not Gable just for that one match, and then it is afterwards. But right now, I don't know what the direction is. Rumored is Penta versus El Grande at SummerSlam mask versus mask match. That's probably where this all ends. But yeah, they're not even making it. They've gone. They're not even trying to pretend that they aren't the same person. But it is what it is. Your thoughts on Dominic retaining over Penta?
You already know what I'm about to say. The future World Heavyweight Champion and the best luchador ever, Dominic Mysterio, gets a well-deserved win and keeps that IC championship. And also, why does everyone keep thinking that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano? He's not. We don't know who he is.
So why wouldn't Penta want to face El Grande on Raw?
I don't know. Maybe that was already booked. Maybe that was already booked.
It wasn't.
I don't know. He's having some issues figuring out what's going on.
This is what I mean. He's just like, if there's that small, tiny.
You know what they say about assumptions? Makes you look like an ass.
There's that tiny amount of casual fans left. They're gone. They're like, didn't.
And guess what? That's their fault because they think they don't know who El Grande Americano is either. No one does. I'm with Pat.
It's like, but if you're trying to follow this, El Grande cost Penta the match and Penta faces Chad Gable. What?
He assumed.
Just see, this is where WWE don't care. It's just, ugh. I always expect WWE to do the best that they can do, but things like this are just, they don't care. They're just doing 2.5 hours, 3 hours of TV for any. 3 hours for Raw, for Netflix, 3 hours for SmackDown, 2 hours for NXT. If it's good, great. If it's not, they don't care. Move on to the next. Gunther defeated Pat McAfee. No Goldberg. Pat McAfee put up a good fight, which, okay, he's a commentator and he put up a good fight against the former world champion. It is what it is. Michael Cole getting involved. You had a bit of storytelling, I suppose, but thank God Gunther won. Yeah, decent match. Pat McAfee put on a good one. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, Pat McAfee didn't back down from Gunther. He could have easily had backed down from him being, could have been easily cowardly, but he didn't back down. And I think that was the whole moral of the story. Like, listen, don't back down. So him putting up a nice little fight with Gunther, he ain't back down from him.
I know a main event for the undisputed WWE Championship for the last time ever. The Viper Randy Orton, never seen 17 John Cena. Yeah, good match. Really storytelling over the years. Some people are saying this is probably their best match ever. It was good. I think their match at was it called Breaking Point? Their I Quit match was good. Yeah, but this was good. Like I said, really storytelling, multiple RKOs, Orton with the AA, multiple ref bumps. Cena doing the pounding the mat, and he was going for the punts. That was good. Of course, R-Truth getting involved. Orton was going to punt Cena. R-Truth coming out and saying, no, saving his childhood hero. That didn't quite work out for him on the post-show press conference, but okay. Yeah, and Cena won exactly the same way as he did at WrestleMania. Nut shot, tap to the head, 1, 2, 3. Cena still champion, no shocker. Then see, I was expecting someone to come out with that big Goldberg, Cody, or anybody really, because Cena cut a promo as if someone was gonna come out. It was just, this is I'm your last real, kind of just saying what he said before. I'm the last real champion. I'm the ruined wrestler. It was like, okay, who's coming out here? Nobody. Fair enough. Yeah, it was a decent pay-per-view. Opener is what I'll rate it. Your thoughts of Cena retaining against Orton?
I mean, it fits into the narrative about, being the last real WWE champion. And it makes sense also because like this will be way too soon for him to lose.
Like I said, I don't think he does lose until at least November. Probably Survivor Series, and then he's faced for that last month, and that's it. What do you say? Do you think that's a good idea, or would you have him lose it sooner than Survivor Series?
Well, he's scheduled for Boston. That's his last match, so I don't know what he'll be. He might be babyface at that time. And
apparently that's a Saturday night's main event. Ugh. Okay. Why can't they just do a pay-per-view? If it's a Saturday night's main event, he's not losing the title there. It's just, ugh. But if they do a pay-per-view, they could do it. So if they do a pay-per-view in December, he could lose it there and be champion all the way to make it look. I've said, make it look like he's leaving with the title, be the last couple of days of the year. That's where you have the pay-per-view. And that's where, I suppose, if he's got to do, Cody wins it back. Let's move on to Monday Night Raw. Hooray! Yay! CM Punk comes on out, calls out Paul Heyman. Out comes Rollins and Breaker. Breaker attacks Punk. Sami Zayn makes a save. Okay. So it wasn't El Grande Americano Pentaface, but it was Chad Gable. So Chad Gable can't beat the Luchas, but El Grande can. And as Michael Cole called it, when Chad Gable's under the hood, he can beat them, but when he's not, he can't. That's what I've learned from Michael Cole. I'm not saying that Chad and El Grande are the same person, but Michael Cole certainly thinks they are. Yeah, I said this last week and I'll say it again. Penta just feels like another guy on the roster. He's just there. And he's been, 3 debuted January, so 3-4 months. Your thoughts of Penta beating Gable and Zayn making a save for Punk when Bron was going to take him out?
I mean, obviously they're tagging Zayn with Punk together to fight off against Seth and Raker. Okay, cool. I'm gonna let Michael Cole assume too. Go ahead. You think if that's what you think it is, buddy? Yeah, I mean, Penta beating Chad Gable, beat him before. I mean, I said that a while ago that Penta feels like a regular dude. Like all the glitz and glamour about Penta has gone away. I mean, it had to happen at some point in time, right? I mean, it was going to happen. No one imagined it happened this soon.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, it's just like, damn, this happened kind of fast.
I think he's still got like Penta's in WWE. That's cool, but it's just ever so slightly now. Just
the aura's gone.
Yeah.
Whatever aura that he truly had when he first debuted is not there as much, especially with him losing that Mania. But I mean, like, you lose the Mania to the world's greatest luchador. I mean, of course, like,
unless they're doing, surely, who knows, it's WWE, unless they're doing this deliberately and he wins Money in the Bank, he's on the poster, that could mean anything. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be in it and winning it. Cody's on the poster, and I don't think he's going to be there, but might they? Don't know. Penta to win Money in the Bank? I wouldn't be fine about it.
If he can't win the IC title, why in the hell would they think that he can win the WWE title or the World Heavyweight? You know what? Yeah, never mind. Him as World Heavyweight Champion, cool. Cash in. Go ahead.
Put the title on Rollins at SummerSlam, which I think they're going to do. And later down the line, Penta beats Rollins.
Cashes in on Rollins, yeah.
I think
that's awesome.
at SummerSlam because we're coming up to a month now and his title run has been very poor. Like as Anna said, I think we both called it. It was a feel-good moment at WrestleMania. Like, yay, he won. It's been a month nearly.
He's going to have a Cody problem, right? Not enough heels, not any good heels. The best heels is Gunther and Gunther, Rollins, Breaker, but Breaker and Rollins are in a group together, so only one of them can have the title from Uso.
I think the problem is way too many shows. You've got Saturday Night's Main Event, you've got Battleground, you've got then 2 weeks later, it's Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, and then 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that, it's Night of Champions, and then July 12th.
No room to build.
Saturday Night's Main Event, and then Evolution, and then it's 2 nights SummerSlam. Wow, that's just a lot just saying it. Never mind watching it, and how do you build anything when it's just show after show after show after show? American Made were on the winning side of things over the War Raiders. It shouldn't come to me as a shock that American Made are getting wins. They should be really winning every week. But this is just to insert them into the title picture that New Day won at Mania, so they're not losing that quick. Whatever. It was a Pat McAfee moment again, so it's just get a little segment to warm up the crowd. So his podcast works with WWE. He's a commentator. He gets a match. He arrived 20 minutes late and gets his own entrance, and now he's getting his own segment. When is enough? And was on Stephanie's Places. I get he's popular, but wow. Made for Saturday Night's Main Event is going to be CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. Okay, your thoughts on American Made over War Raiders?
That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I was never really that much of a War Raiders fan. I do like how athletic Ivar is, but I'm not really a fan of theirs. And I do like American Made as a tag team. Those two guys definitely do well.
Your thoughts on Pat McAfee getting all of this, or should it be for him to try and get as much as he can from WWE?
He should be getting everything he can from WWE. Absolutely. Get all of it.
Fair enough. Jey Uso comes out and again, try and make... This is what just makes it... If I'm sat here confused and trying to make sense out of this, now we're talking about it, watching it just like, it's just another Raw, just whatever. But now we're talking about it, if I'm confused, the casuals again just turn off, because they don't live in... Their life isn't wrestling like it is mine, so they can just turn off and never watch again. So Jey Uso comes out, but not his opponent for Saturday Night Main Event interrupts him, but Gunther interrupts him to set up a match for 2 nights after Money in the Bank. What? Why is that not having at Money in the Bank? And they've just made it obvious, and it's obvious anyway, that Jey Uso's beating Logan Paul. Because it's not going to be Gunther versus Logan. Like, what? They don't care. It's just... You spoiled the... and I bet Logan Jey doesn't even main event. Saturday Night's Main Event. So this Jey Uso main event thing is just purely just a name. I bet Cena or Truth main events, or even the tag team match I bet it should be Jey Logan. I bet it won't be. But regardless, what if that's a main event or not? You've given away the finish, and now it's Jay Gunther on Raw. Oh, you couldn't have done that Money in the Bank or Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Again, way too much content. It's just show after show after show, and they don't care if this makes sense. It's just whatever. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, they don't care. Finn Balor took a loss to AJ Styles. Okay, your thoughts on Styles beating Balor and the whole Uso Gunther thing?
I mean, AJ and Balor, from what I saw, they tear it up all the time. You know, Bullet Club guys always tearing it up. Yeah. That was dumb. That was really dumb. Just kind of giving it away. And also, Gunther, you're in the back of the line. You only beat Pat McAfee. Who else have you beat recently? Like, you don't just get to the front of the line because you beat Pat McAfee. Are you saying that Pat McAfee was also in the World Heavyweight title picture too? How do you go from being in the back of the line, Gunther, losing at Mania, to now you popped at the front of the line, and you kind of told us that you and Jay are going to have a fight for the title, but Logan and Jay didn't even have a fight for the title yet. What? What?
And
Okay.
Logan wasn't on Raw to do anything. I know, okay, his schedule is limited, but he couldn't have been on the Tron. He couldn't have been on the Tron saying, well, no, Gunther, it's going to be me that you're facing in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like that would have saved that. Yeah, that was crazy.
And the Money in the Bank, if they're going to do Gunther Jay again, Money in the Bank or Night of Champions, not just a random Raw. Night of Champions, that's where Goldberg, oh God, I don't want Goldberg to cost Gunther, but Goldberg cost Gunther the win, and that sets up SummerSlam.
That's annoying if that's the case.
Because Evolution's a women's event, Saturday Night's main event is whatever. Chad Gable cut a generic promo. I think this might just been just for Netflix. I don't know if that was on TV, but okay, it's not TV, but you know what I mean. Becky Lynch cut a promo. Very generic. Basically, I'm not done with you, Lyra. Okay. And your main events are Rhea Ripley and Sky defeat Roxanne Perez, loses again. And Julia. So Roxanne Perez, if this is her call, again, this is where we're confused. Is this her call up? She's still on NXT. Who really knows? But if this is her call up, for Roxanne, very directionless. Dog match for Raw. Your thoughts on the main event?
I mean, Roxanne being on Raw, I feel like, but who she faced? Rhea Ripley, right?
Rhea and Io tag match with Julia and Roxanne.
Did you really think that Roxanne and Julia were going to beat Rhea and Io?
You could have had a DQ fit. Why is Roxanne losing all the time? what this is all up?
Well, think about it. Io is the world heavyweight champion. Rhea Ripley pretty much is number one contender, and Roxanne low key don't stand a chance against either one of those women. Even with Julia being her tag team partner, they're just not on that level yet. Like, they're good, they're hella good. Definitely in NXT, they're super good, but on Raw, it brings them back down to earth. So to me, the booking makes sense. And mind you, there was no official word if Roxanne Perez has been called up. So this makes sense, but this also allows Roxanne to display her skills.
And this is what confuses people: is she called up? She isn't. There was really no official thing where she's got. I presume because somebody's gone to SmackDown. I presume they'll say tomorrow night on Raw, Roxanne's officially been called up. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but again, this is what leaves the casual fans, if there is any, totally confused because like, where's Rock? Well, okay, casual fans don't watch NXT, but it's like, wasn't she on NXT? What's going on? Speaking of NXT, the No Catch Quarter crew comes on out. Miles Bourne cuts a promo. Of course, he's got the title shot at Battleground next Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Ethan Page interrupts. Ava comes on out, makes a match for later on. So, yeah, your thoughts of the opening segment, your thoughts of Miles Bourne getting the title shot at Battleground.
I mean, Randy Jr. cut a really good promo, and Randy Jr. You know, I like the fact that he's getting some shine. I mean, look at his look. That's why I call him Randy Jr. The dude looks like Randy Orton from back in 2009. He's absolutely jacked. You know, you got the bald skim head look, the Randy look from back in those days, and he looks great. And he sounds great on the mic too. Like you could tell he's made a lot of strides in his career. NXT is definitely credit to that, and I'm excited to see what he can do versus Oba Femi.
Yeah, I don't see him winning, but yeah, it'd be a big match for him at Battleground.
A good display of his skills.
Speaking of the champion, he knocked off Charlie Dempsey. So I'll get your thoughts on that in a second. And then we had Wesley's new team, where he's got a new faction, the High Rise. Yeah, cool. That's a cool name. He defeated Tony D'Angelo, so that makes sense. He's a leader of this new faction team, so obviously it makes sense he got the win. And you had Stacks distract Tony. So yeah. So your thoughts on both Wesley over Tony D'Angelo and Oba over Charlie Dempsey?
I mean, well, Oba beating Charlie Dempsey, that you know, that was that we saw that coming. Yeah, I mean, Wesley defeating the Don. I mean, it was off of a distraction. But the stuff with Stacks and the Don is actually getting better and better. It's actually pretty cool to see how that's all unraveling. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Oba. There was no shot. Charlie got a good match out of him, but I wasn't I was, oh my God, Oba won. Nothing. Stephanie McKeon comes out, cuts a promo, Fatal Influence. That turn is coming. JC Jane and Fallon Henley are arguing every single week now. It's just a matter of time. And I don't want them to split up, because then what do you do with one of those then looking at being released, which is never good. John and Grace made the save, challenge to a match later on. Miles Bourne builds momentum heading into Battleground over Ethan Page. Tim Paxley. Oh no, Tim Paxley. Thea Hale defeats Tim Paxley by DQ. Tim Paxley are trying to get the eye of Thea. Tatum saying it how it is. She's all alone. She lost her friends, or Gigi Dolan. She lost her fiance, Javier Bernal. She's all alone. Yeah. Your thoughts on both of those? So Miles Bourne over Ethan Page and Tim Paxley losing to Thea Hale.
I mean, Paxley's right. She is all alone, so she got to find her way. Osborne, obviously, getting that win over Page. that's a good quality one. You know, Paige is the former NXT champion, so that's a good quality one for him right there. And I mean, Thea Hale is picking up some steam. That's great for her and her career. You know, she's actually doing something after Chase U is gone. And I'm excited to see what else she can show us.
At Battleground made it's Tony Angelo versus Stacks. Cool. There was a contract signing backstage between Joe Hendry, Trick Williams. I think it's still super cool. The TNA title defending at a WWE pay-per-view premier live event. And your main event for NXT, Jordan Gray, Stephanie Vakir defeats Fatal Influence. This was just a momentum builder for Jordan Gray heading into next week's Battleground. NXT a lot better than Raw. Just below mid-card. So your thoughts on the main event and your rating for NXT?
I did like the main event. The tag match was pretty cool. Was it a tag match?
Jordan and Stephanie versus Fatal Influence.
Okay. Yeah. Good tag match. I always enjoy seeing, you know, Stephanie in the ring. You know, especially with the Devil's Kiss. Yeah. I swear Booker T be sleeping on the couch after every Tuesday. I swear Charmel makes him sleep on the couch after every Tuesday. Or you know what? Charmel seemed like the kind of wife that would be doing it with Booker. She might be like, babe, do it better, do it more. And he might be like, you sure? She'd be like, hell yeah. And he'd be like, yeah. But I'm going to give NXT definitely a mid-card. I don't know what it is. Maybe with Shawn Michaels being in charge of NXT, I don't know. For some reason, NXT just seems like so much of a better show than Raw and SmackDown. And I don't know. It drives me nuts that it's like, yo, NXT is this good and Raw and SmackDown is this bad. That's crazy.
I think it's, certainly with SmackDown, the 3 hours, again, we say this every single week, the 3 hours doesn't help. And I thought it was going back to 2 next month. There's been no official thing saying it is, so maybe it's not. I know we covered that a few weeks ago, but who knows? They're apparently going back to 2 hours. That'll be, but they have, if they have the same amount of commercials now that you do for a 2 hour SmackDown, that's less TV time, so that's obviously not good for the talent. But it's also hurting the rate, the people watching at home, because again, 3 hours is a long time. It's just it does drag.
Yeah, I don't even watch SmackDown anymore because I refuse to watch 3 hours of a show. I don't want. I think I say this all the time. 3 hours of a wrestling show is too long. 2 hours is perfect. If you don't get on the show, then you don't need to be on the show. But 3 hours is just exhausting.
So let's speed all the way through the next one. Avinal defeating Maxine Dupree with a few seconds on the clock on speed. No shocker there. I'll give that a opener, I suppose. On Evolve. So they got they got a win, and then they got obviously Evolve's taped way in advance, but they got a win and they've been released. So Gallus knocked off Holland, losing Keanu Carver, but they've been released. Okay, it is what it is. I don't, thank God I don't control anything to do with WWE because I won't be releasing any of these, but it is what it is. Idris Enofe, that he was a tag team partner of Malik Blade in NXT. He's back. So I was wondering where he was. Apparently he had a shoulder injury, but he's back. He had an interview. Kelly Armstrong defeated Mason Holiday. Cut a promo. Zeta Steel came out. Chantel Monroe did. Kylie Ray did. Another recent release. It was just coming to his own. Kind of get his own. No, his own. Well, getting his own. He had his story, his own character. Feeling more like a real life character, if that makes sense. More he's like outside the ring, and that's Javier Bernal defeated It's Gal. But again, he's been released. Ugh. And Lexus King proved why he is ruler of the ring as he defeated Sean Legacy. I'll give that an opener also. So on to SmackDown. So, Solo Sikoa, Jericho Fatu, and Jeff Cobb, now known as JC Mateo. I suppose it fits. Calling Jeff Cobb and him being in there with Solo Sikoa and Jericho Fatu doesn't really fit. I think it's one of those names I have to keep hearing for it to actually fit, but it's okay. LA Knight makes the LA Knight attacks Solo, pulling him out the ring. That's a match made for later on. Alexa Bliss is your first person in the women's Money in the Bank. I think Chelsea Green might still get into it. I think Chelsea Green's my pick to win it. But Chelsea Green lost to Alexa Bliss. Well, it makes sense. She's won it before. Okay, at least they're giving you a win. At least there's some sort of direction. So okay. Your thoughts of Alexa Bliss winning and Jeff Cobb now being called JC Mateo.
I mean, is Jeff Cobb Samoan?
Filipino. So no, he's not Samoan. No.
So this is their second time filling in a Filipino for a different role that isn't their role. Okay, weird. I guess. I mean, I like the name Jeff Cobb. It sounds better versus JC Mateo, but they're trying to make him sound Samoan. So okay, Yokozuna. And yeah, I mean, I think that's a good call. Try to give Alexa Bliss some more momentum, especially since she's been off TV for a minute. So that's good.
But you've got this, and this has never been explained. You've got this feud with Charlotte. Again, because I'll go back to what I said about Raw and Backlash. The casual fans, if I'm sat here, I never knew that Alexa and Charlotte had a feud, but now they apparently do. So Charlotte's gonna cost Alexa the match. Is that where we're going? And they're gonna have a match. But then it's rumored that Charlotte's facing Jade at Evolution. Again, if you try and follow any of this. Fraxium got the 1-2-3 on DIY. Fraxium, they're actually picking up wins and they've got a direction team coming to the main roster. It wouldn't shock me if they beat Street Profits next week. That wouldn't shock me. Well, it would. It's super cool for them, but Profits won it again on a random SmackDown. Ugh. I think. Yeah. What? But was it Spain? I think it was a Spanish SmackDown. They won it. So before Mania, so they could lose them here. We'll wait and see. Earlier in the day, Wade Barrett did a sit-down interview with R-Truth. You're now getting R-Truth, John Cena at Saturday night's main event. And Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre steel cage match. So Cena Truth is probably your main event, even though it should be Jay Logan. Regardless what the main event is, they've already spot the finish, so what's the point in watching? The Miz will host American Gladiators. That's cool for the Miz. So yeah, your thoughts on Fraxium over DIY and the Miz hosting American Gladiators?
I don't care about the American Gladiators.
Yeah.
So I think Fraxium, they definitely have a good push, but that also let people know how great they were in NXT. Like if people didn't watch NXT and you didn't see Fraxium, you missed out. Those two guys tore it up.
It was Carmelo Hayes, Aleister Black, ended in no contest. Oh God. How does this make Aleister Black look special, different? He can't beat I could beat Carmelo Hayes. He can't beat Carmelo Hayes, who hasn't won I'm not counting the Battle Royal, hasn't won a singles match for months. I don't think he's won a singles match this year. And Aleister Black can't beat him. Thank God he's in a ladder qualifying match next week. I don't mind Black winning the Money in the Bank. But yeah, then he's against Nakamura and somebody else. Might be LA Knight. Nakamura's not winning. Yeah, give it to Black. Give the win to Black. Julia is now on SmackDown. Cool. Hopefully this will separate her from Roxanne Perez. And she's already in a match. Charlotte, Julia, and Zelina. Okay, the women's US champion is in a qualifying match. What? What if she wins? She's going to cash in on herself? Because surely the champ... So let's just go through. Let's go through this. So let's say she wins that triple threat and goes on to win Money in the Bank. She cashes in on herself because surely the winner can cash in for any title. It's not just, of course, it's going to be the world title, but you've got a choice. Both women's mid-card titles and main title, which I think that's probably what they're going to do because it elevates the women's mid-card titles. Somebody going after the IC title or US title elevates them. Whether that's what they do or not, but so Zelina's going to cash in on herself. Okay, then. Again, make it make sense. Drew McIntyre cuts a good promo, just builds up Saturday night's main event. So, your thoughts on Black, Carmelo Hayes, Julia now on SmackDown, and the Drew McIntyre promo?
Yeah, I mean, it went to no contest because Miz interfered, so I get that. Julia on SmackDown, that's awesome. I think that's great. Separate her from Roxanne Perez because I think there was a promo that Roxanne cut after Julia in her match and saying like this isn't working. Us two is not working. I mean, they're not a tag team. Duh. So of course it's not working. So Julia being separated from her and going to SmackDown, I think that's good. And SmackDown is always a breeding ground for young talent. Well, young, inexperienced WWE talent to get their stuff together. And then what was the other thing?
I don't know if you call it the Drew McIntyre promo or not.
No, I didn't watch it.
Fair enough. Solo Sikoa with a much needed win. As much as I didn't like Rey Fenix getting pinned at the very same time, a much needed win for Solo. He's in Money in the Bank. That would be interesting. So again, Solo winning. Why would he not go after the world title? But Solo winning and going after Jacob, that would be interesting. I don't see Solo winning it, but JC Mateo or Jeff Cobb, call him what you like, made his debut and looked 50-50. Why does everybody look 50-50? Why does nobody, no one, not even Cena, nobody looks like this? Well, okay, Cena's a megastar, but nobody looks above anybody else. They're all 50-50. Everybody, every single person. And I get LA Knight's a former US champion, but still, why wouldn't you have put him away in 30 seconds? That would have made him look more dominant. But no, they went like 10-15 minutes. JC Mateo knocks off LA Knight. And to close out SmackDown, still your women's champion, it is Tiffy time. Again, why couldn't this have been Money in the Bank? Saturday night's main event? No, let's do on a random SmackDown. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. Opener for SmackDown as well. So your thoughts on Solo advancing to the Money in the Bank, Jason Mateo over LA Knight, and Tiffany Stratton returning?
Yeah, Solo need that win. It's been a while since Solo really had some credibility, so good for him. Jeff Cobb beating LA Knight, cool. I mean, I hear what you're saying about the 50-50 stuff, but yes, it should be 50-50. No one should be looking like no one should look like they're an absolute force unless it's against developmental talent. Other than that, it should never look like, oh, I'm about to run over this guy ever. It should, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a wrestling ring, make it look good. And what was the other thing?
Tiffany returning against Nia.
No, okay, whatever.
Do you think they could have saved that for either? Because there's no women's match.
They had no. They had no build. They just threw it.
There's no build for most of the match. Well, there's very little build for the matches at Saturday night's main event, but they could have just thrown it on there.
I mean, does Tiffany have a match for Saturday night's main event?
There is no women's match, so I know. No.
So yeah, maybe they did. They could have built that for that event.
Again, it's just content after content, show after show. It's just nothing built, nothing taken time on. Anyway, your rating for SmackDown.
Dark match.
Okay. So before we get to some predictions, we've got Saturday night's main event to predict. So before we get to that, I will play ad 2 of 2 coming your way right about now. So yes, go ahead, like, subscribe, and this isn't the only channel that you need to subscribe to. This is as well, right there in the description, as always. If you're a fan of food and drink reviews, this is the channel for you, and this video is also for you. That is right, MARKCUS' channel. Head over after this. We'll be done here in about 5 minutes or so. Yeah, head over, check out his channel, turn on notifications. You never know when a video is coming your way, but it's right there in the description. So yes. So yeah, we do have predictions to do. Okay, so we'll play this right here. So it is in a steel cage match, their last match ever. Typical WWE, I've seen them getting a third match out of this, but let's go with what they're saying. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, if this indeed is their last match, Priest has got to win. I think if not Priest, Drew wins, I think if Priest wins, then that's a third match. Then they're one apiece. So I think Drew wins this. Who have you got?
I got Drew.
For the we'll do the title match, not last, but is it will be CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker? Regardless whether Zayn turns or not, this is going to be Rollins and Braun. Otherwise, that's the point. So yeah, who have you got in this one?
I actually got Rollins and Braun as well.
Do you see a turn from Zayn? Whether that's joining Rollins or not, do you see Zayn turning?
Nah, I just see them losing clean. Well, not clean, but yeah.
For the men's world championship, as Logan Paul, Jey Uso, Jey Uso retaining as much he would. Well, it would make me laugh if Logan Paul won. Because Jay, like I said, it was a feel-good moment at WrestleMania, and that was it. So, yeah, Jay's retaining. Have you got the same, Marcus?
Yeah, it's Jay.
And John Cena, R-Truth, non-title match. Well, this is Cena, but yeah, this is Cena. Have you got the Cena winning against R-Truth?
Yeah. No, he's going to lose to his childhood hero.
And a lot of people are like complaining about this, but I said when Cena announced his retirement tour on Raw for the first Raw on Netflix, let's have Cena Orton, Cena R-Truth, Cena Punk at Money in the Bank. Why not that? Let's do all these either dream matches or going back to all the years that Cena's been going. Maybe Cena Rock?
Nah.
Don't see that happening. Where's that going to happen? No, it's rumored they're doing a 6-man at SummerSlam and The Rock's going to be involved, so... But that means turning Cena face, doesn't it? I was going to say, Rock, Cena, and Travis Scott loses. Rock bottom from The Rock. That's turning Cena face. And I don't think they're turning face at SummerSlam. But, so let's get into our final piece of news here of the final segment, which of course is this right here.
Extra, read all about it is the news and the headlines. And we only got 2.
That is right, and 2 very unfortunate, very sad pieces of news, but it's out there. So, good old JR, the Hall of Famer Jim Ross, unfortunately got colon cancer. I think he's had it before. So obviously this is not good. Get well soon, JR. Any we kind of really no thoughts on this. Really, obviously, it's just sad news. Yeah, that's really all my only real thoughts. What's your thoughts of it, Marcus?
I mean, men, we have to get our colons checked, right? Colon cancer happens for men. I know it's something that's low-key embarrassing. I know a lot of men don't like to get their colon checked just due to the fact of the location of where the colon is. But as we get older, we have to be more okay with getting those things checked. It's very important to do so. JR has battled many different ailments in his life. This is just another one that we're all hoping and praying that he defeats this one as well. And
the other piece of news is over to you, Marcus.
Well, so when Ricky asked me which news that I want to cover, I mean, me being from Philadelphia, we already know what Philadelphia is the home of. And this man called the promotion that I love the most home for year until the doors closed. And even still represented it after it was closed. So Terry Sabu Bunk passed away this week. What made it interesting is that he also had his last match last week or 2 weeks ago or something against bad boy Joey Janela. Janela?
Yeah.
And we all seen what Sabu could do in the ring. Like, he was doing stuff in the ring that no one was doing. You know, I can imagine, I still imagine the double jump moonsaults and the double jump leg drops, the Arabian face busters, and so many different things that he did that made wrestling look so cool, yet so violent and so crazy. You know, the barbed wire matches. I mean, the dude did all this crazy stuff, all for the name of our entertainment. You know, at a point in time, he signed to WCW for 2 weeks. He signed to WCW for 2 weeks, and you know, WCW didn't know how to book him and how to deal with such a guy, and he ended up going back to ECW. You know, he's one of ECW's most loyal soldiers during his active career. You know, he had great matches in TNA. He had a match with the GOAT, John Cena, and John Cena was like, "Listen, I want you to do all your stuff. I want you to get all your offense out, man." And we got to see Sabu do so many great things. A product of the Sheik. It's sad to see some of your favorite wrestlers pass away, but you also get memories of these people, and you're allowed to, you know, luckily we have video to remember these guys from and to see all the great stuff. But then there's another Sabu story that got me like so like happy because of the genuine person he is. So there's a story out there that there were 2 kids at WrestleMania wanting to go to WrestleMania. He bought these kids 2 tickets. He told them to hurry up and go inside because he gave them his ticket. He bought them tickets. Didn't have to, but he wanted them to enjoy wrestling, you know, and it's such a cool thing. So now he's having a hardcore match, a hardcore 3-way dance, maybe 4-way with Dusty, Terry Funk, and New Jack. So RIP to the first man that put up the one finger, Sabu.
Yeah, it is sad. And 60s nowadays is no age. It's like the 60s are both considered young in 2025. I do think it's his match that unfortunately contributed to his death because he had to take kratom just to make it to the ring, and then he took a bump onto the concrete, was out cold. I said at 60, he can't be doing that. So did the match contribute to his death? Because I saw him just 2 months ago at the Love of Wrestling convention. He looked in good health. So yeah, this is not good at all. And I was always sad when anybody dies, but when a wrestler dies, yeah. Obviously, you know, he left a legacy, a hell of a legacy. Hopefully, maybe he goes in the Hall of Fame, possibly next year. I don't know. New Orleans, possibly. But yeah, we truly missed, as Marcus has said, some wild memories. We were taping his bicep, and the barbed wire ripped his bicep open. Ugh. I stubbed my toe, and I'm like, I broke my toe. I just can't imagine ripping your bicep open. ECW, obviously, you put ECW on the map. Yeah, you'll be able to, and obviously the Sheik, his uncle inspired Sabu to be the wrestler he was. So yeah, Sabu we truly missed. Like I said, 60s, no age at all. Hopefully the match wasn't the reason why he died, but do you think the match had a contribution to his death, or what do you think, Marcus?
I'm praying that it didn't. Only because like I didn't see the match in full. I only seen like one, maybe two spots from the match. But as you said, no one that old should be taking bumps like that. But then again, it wouldn't be a Sabu match if he didn't take those kind of bumps.
Do you think it was wrong that they sent him out there when he at first couldn't even walk?
I mean, obviously it's wrong, but it's also like you don't want to stop a person from fulfilling their dream, especially with the fact that it's kind of crazy that he passed this week. And with with that, and it's like at least he had his one last match.
True, but if I'm a promoter and I've booked, I don't care if I booked The Rock, whoever, okay, but I booked Sabu and Sabu can't walk. Forget it. He can do something. He can still be on the show. He can do sign. He can come out, cut a promo, do signing. So he's still there. The fans are still going to see him. But apparently they had a backup anyway. So why don't they just go with that backup? I suppose it is what it is, and yeah, in hindsight, they probably shouldn't have done that. If I'm a booker and I've got Sabu, that's enough. The fans are still happy. They're still going to see him. He can cut a promo. He can do a few signings, take a few photos. And if that's not enough for the fans, and oh dear, if I've got to refund some fans that aren't happy, it is what it is. I'll refund them, but at least Sabu's still alive, and I'm not the one putting his life in jeopardy like it was. I say maybe, yeah, the bump to the floor. He was apparently in a pool of blood. He was knocked out. Like 60 years old, you cannot be doing this. So, Sabu will be missed. Do you think he goes in the Hall of Fame next year, or no?
I would hope so. All the things that he did for ECW, like, and wouldn't he be? No, he'd be the second pure ECW guy to go into the Hall of Fame. No, third. No, second, because I'm not counting Terry Funk as a pure ECW guy. When I mean pure ECW guy, like that's where he really got his fame and stuff from. RVD is the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher was never really ECW, was he?
No.
Yeah, RVD. Yeah. And off the top of my head, can't think of anybody else really right now.
From what I know, and I'm trying to think about all the top guys from ECW days. Nah, RVD's like the only pure ECW guy that
Heyman, no, RVD, then Heyman.
Oh, yeah, RVD and then Heyman, but once again, RVD was first. So Sabu, if he's granted that, if he is a Hall of Famer next year, he'd be the third pure ECW.
I bet if Sabu was still alive and someone said, do you want to go to the Hall of Fame? I can guarantee he's like, it's a lot of crap. Because it kind of really is. If you look at it.
I think he would say it's a load of crap, but then I think he would also look at the fact that RVD did it, Paul did it, and he'd probably be like, you know what? Sure. Why not?
But when you look at the Hall of Fame, who's it really actually for? Why do if I'm a Lex Luger, for example, Lex Luger going in this year, I know I'm good. Why do I need some ring and some applause to go, oh, yeah, you were good. I know I was good. I don't need to be good in the Hall.
There's a reason why. So there's a catchphrase. I don't know if it's in England, but it's definitely in America. People should receive their flowers before they're gone.
True. Yes.
And and once again, and we kind of said this a couple weeks ago when it comes down to like retirement, right? As a professional wrestler, when you're done, you hang it up. Professional wrestlers still hang around the product in one way or another. Sometimes they come back and do another match. Sometimes they get a legacy contract and they might just be cutting promos or doing other type of advertisements or just showing up. You know, that'd been cool if there was a show in Philadelphia and Sabu was like, and they asked Sabu to come in, not to do nothing, but just to come in, you know, make an appearance. You know, something like that, or, you know, just to have that adulation and be able to talk about, you know, ECW and everything and talk about his uncle and RVD. And I think you want to hear, you know, as a professional wrestler, you kind of want the clamor, you want the fans again. So that'd be that one last time in a safe environment in which the fans could give Sabu his flowers and tell him thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's why you do the Hall of Fame. You don't do the Hall. Yes, the Hall of Fame is an ego. It can be an ego booster or whatever, but you do it for the fans. You do it for the adulation. You do it because you're thanking them the same way they thanked you over all these years.
Unless you're Triple H doing an hour speech, and that's all about all ego, just and you're getting 4 belts and a wax figure and a bronze statue, and Bret Hart didn't like Triple H's entrance at Mania. All ego. It is what it is. Some going for ego, some going because, yeah, to be honest, I suppose.
I mean, Triple H did a lot for the business, so I get it.
But he still has a massive ego doing an hour-long speech. Like, ugh, okay. It is what it is. But that is it for a final week. Another week, not final week, another week. Join us next week. So a busy week next week. The podcast, Saturday Night's Main Event watch along, Battleground watch along, and then of course I'll watch Double or Nothing. So yeah, we'll look out for the shorts that I do for that. So a busy weekend, 3 pay-per-views if you count Saturday Night's Main Event as a pay-per-view in one weekend. But as always, it is over to Marcus for the final words here.
Please, y'all, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the People's Wrestling Channel. Get all your good stuff here. And also be able to listen to the Rain and Rock podcast happen on the weekends. If you ain't watch it, Ricky did. And he's going to pass it along to you. Ching, ching. Bling, bling. Say his name and money appears.
That is right. And there is the channel right there. If you want to head over in about 10 seconds from now, check out the channel, food and drink reviews. And we'll see you guys next week because, as always, if wrestling is the game, excellence is the name. And excellence is Ricky Goldman.